Final Pogba will leave it for Rashford. He strikes. Oh, it's a goal! Staying on his feet this time. Look, they went for Martial. Lovely touch by Fernandez. Cavani! Rashford all the way across goal. What a finish!
Welcome everyone and welcome to All In, All United, fellas. You know, it's very rare that we, come on to the show and we have a podcast, when there isn't a match day. But after we experience over the past couple of weeks, months, past 3 years and change, we had to do this earlier. We had to do it. So let me deal with it one time. Reports are, and the reports are coming from credible people, right? It all over the place. Sky Sports, I know they're late most times, but them and all on it. Fabrizio Romano, right? Laurie Whitwell. Who's the other guy? Whoever. Right? Whoever. Samuel Luckhurst. But there's one more guy. But anyway, guys, we are on the brink of confirming the appointment of Ralf. How it's pronounced, Greg?
Rangnick.
Right.
You gotta pronounce the GN like a Y. You gotta pronounce the GN like a kind of like a Y.
Right. So the German, who they refer to as the Godfather of the Gegenpressing. Right. We have appointed him as the interim manager for the next 6 months, right? Yeah. And based on the reports that we've been reading, he was handed a 6-month deal. And if he gets us to the top 4, and win the Champions League, there are huge bonuses included in that, right? And he's going to remain, right, as an advisor for the club. Now I know that Rangnick, right, had certain aspirations when coming to Man United because I was looking upon him and he hasn't been really in coaching management for some time, right? Because he was more taking that director role, but he has it in him, right? Because he has his clear philosophies and we'll get into that. But guys, we have appointed somebody and, the club shocked me because I was expecting to be disappointed by the appointment or whoever they were going to select because you hear the names like Steve Bruce we were talking about, Ben Bolin, Wayne Rooney, Roy Keane, Valverde, and I asked myself, I say, when will we learn, right? But from what I've heard, the little that I know about Rangnick, the man worthy clothes. So fellas, let me get into it. Nico, how are you feeling about this appointment?
Yeah, to be honest, I know the fact that night guys, and I guess we have a few viewers on the outside also. First and foremost, I think when we would have chosen the manager, because last review we talked about who we choosing as the manager more or less. We went to Ten Hag. Most of us went to Ten Hag. However, if we really had to go with that interim, I think I would have chosen him. And I would have chosen him based on a philosophy, that the club has been missing. The club hasn't have an identity for the last, since Sir Alex has left, the club hasn't had an identity, and I know he has a philosophy and identity that he is going to instill within the club. And even after the consultancy period, after the interim period, during the consultancy period, I think he will have a say. He will be more or less on the board choosing who would be the new manager. So whatever philosophy that he is going to implement, I think whoever is going to come with the same philosophy. So within this 6-month period, he will be instilling that philosophy and that brand. So by the time the next coach comes, you get somebody similar to continue that process. And we wouldn't get a manager who is coming to instill something new, because you're going from a manager who want to play this type of football to a manager who want to play, a totally different side of football. And now the team has to evolve or adapt to that brand of football. So I think that was an excellent choice by the board. Just in terms of choosing a philosophy or identity, and by the 2-year consultancy hoping to stick with that. So I think this was an excellent choice by the board to hire Ragnick. Yeah.
Yeah, good.
It's
good
gonna
to-
it's
Hey,
gonna take
watch
a while
man.
to really get around to it. Yeah.
We haven't had Greg on the inside for a while. Greg, with all
Yeah,
the good.
Greg.
With all the
True.
good.
Bro, it's just been a lot of up and down, like I said, with the adjustments and my new job and everything,
Mm.
and I am doing so many different things. It's insane, but I'm glad to be back. Glad to
Yeah.
Yeah,
be able
man.
to be a part of this again. Let me tell you, I said this on Twitter. I'm going to say it here. This appointment is, quite frankly, the most un-Manchester United like appointment I've seen in a long time because it's an appointment that actually makes sense. You have someone with football IQ, football acronym, football etiquette, making footballing decisions, and it's
Correct.
something that's going to happen on and off the pitch. Because when you look at his CV, like you said before this, he was the director of football at Lokomotiv Moscow. This is a guy who's coached the likes of Stuttgart, Schalke. Fun fact: in 2011, when we faced Schalke in the semifinals, guess who was the
Yeah.
coach?
Correct. Yes. Yes.
So he has Champions League experience. I mean, for somebody who mentored the likes of Thomas Tuchel, the Julian Nagelsmann, and the Jurgen Klopps, a lot of them refer to him as probably one of the best, if not the best, German coach. So he's someone that comes with a high rating from individuals who are in the high upper echelons of world football right now. So you're thinking you're getting someone who has much credit to him, who revolutionized the very pressing game that those coaches use in their style right now. So this is someone with a structure. This is someone with ideas. This is someone who's forward thinking in the way that they operate.
Yeah.
It's a plus for Manchester United going forward. And then for the fact that he can be acting pretty much as a director of football in himself, because that consultancy role gives him control of not just the aspects of the first team. He may want to get involved in things related to the academy as well too. This is someone who likes to have his hands in everything, and I think that's been something that Manchester United has been missing for some time.
Yeah. Yeah. And before I go to Ralph Gunnar,
Ralf Rangnick. Oh my god,
let me just get some comments.
this man changes his name more than he changes his clothes. I don't know what's going on with him.
Davinja, good night, buddy. He's saying Ralph to Ten Hag. So I guess that's what everybody,
Well, yeah, well, I
that's
mean
what we
that's
hoping.
basically the idea in everybody's mind. But the thing is this board we dealing with, they like to tease us. They give us
Yeah.
one thing, and then they dangle the other piece right in front of us, and then nothing.
King on really pretty good night to you too. He's saying bye bye Scotty.
Yeah, we definitely had to get into those discussions. Definitely.
Yeah. Anderson, good night, buddy. He's saying like Greg said, an on Manchester United decision based on current dealings. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we could all agree on that, right? But I'm telling you, and I don't know if I'm speaking for all, but when I saw the breaking news, I was Man United. We make that move, you know.
I thought someone was making that play that prank.
Yeah. I had to check to see if it was the legit Fabrizio Romano account. You know, these people like to, Anyway, go through
I swear, no. Just before we go any forward, I've just wondered if something happens to Fabrizio Romano, what are they going to do?
we go wait until Sky Sports or Slow Sports.
Oh Lord, now we're going to reduce to now. Wow. Okay. Yeah, Phil.
Yeah,
go
Phil,
ahead.
go through.
Oh, my bad. No, it's good to have somebody who knows about football on the board, in a sense, right? Because our owners just have two guys, or they put guys in place who are just business minded, right? Why not have somebody who is also football minded, who can act as an advisor or consultant for the entire Manchester United organization, right? In terms of what Ralph, how I felt, definitely a good appointment for an interim manager, plus the consultancy afterwards, right? Good appointment in terms of the way how he has his teams pressing, in terms of, just to allude, Greg said, being an influencer to some of the top managers across England, like your Thomas Tuchel and your Klopp as well, and even Julian Nagelsmann over there in Germany, right? So definitely looking forward to see what he offers this team. A lot of players are going to have to pull up their big boy socks, and they're going to have to, work their work their tail off as a team, right? One thing I'll also add is that with regards to the pressing, right, I definitely can see us pressing as a unit instead of individual pressers, right? So I can call about two players like your Edison Cavani and your Bruno Fernandes who press by themselves. And then, when they press that opposition player and the opposition player passes the ball to one of their teammates, they're looking around to see, like, who else is pressing with me, right? So then
And most likely that teammate in the midfield, when the midfield wide open.
exactly, right? So pressing as individuals versus pressing as a unit, I'd rather take the unit part, right? Which is something I think Ralph will bring to this team. So looking forward to see what he can do for this next 6 months. And yeah,
And thanks for that, fellas. So I was looking at some background on Ralph, right? And I'm seeing here that he started coaching, or he got his first job in 1991,
Yeah.
right, where he took Stuttgart under 19 to the to win the U19 Bundesliga title,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And from then, he didn't stop. So that's what, like 30 years
Yeah, pretty much.
since he started till now. And even though in his last couple years he wasn't really involved in actual management, he's still relevant, right? Because when you listen to him talk, his philosophy, and then the ones that follow his philosophy, what he believes in is still relevant, and it's something that I'm kind of excited about to see, and you all alluded to it as well, that we actually have somebody who is relevant and a football person. When you go back at the managers we had before, you had Moyes who wasn't ready for this step up, right? Then you look at Van Gaal, who we could argue was a has been, even though he had his ideas, I think he was past it, right? Then you bring in Mourinho, who I believe was past it. Then you go on to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who
Still finding
sentiment,
his foot.
yeah, still, yeah, he's too green for this. And we've seen throughout since Sir Alex Ferguson's time till now. And we could even go back and argue that Sir Alex Ferguson's philosophy probably wasn't so much into tactics. You could argue that he was just a good man manager and he knew how to get the best out of players to get them to perform at the optimum. And that time, you could argue that you were able to get players to perform as opposed to put out, this and that and be so defined with where somebody's supposed to do and patterns of play. I don't think during Sir Alex Ferguson's time it was that detailed. Probably I could be wrong. But it's good now to reach here to know that we have a kind of meticulous tactician as our manager. We've spoken about the lack in patterns of play, the lack in identity. So long we've been talking about this under Oli and whoever have gone before. Van Gaal's style was too slow, and we gained somebody who actually who promised to give us something quick, something high intensity, something entertaining. When we look at the teams that he's coached before.
Yeah, I want to correct you with one thing more or less, Reams. You said we had started coaching in 91, right? But you actually started coaching in 1983.
83.
Right?
I think he was a player
83.
manager.
He's
one
a
of the
player
games.
manager for a 6th division team.
I think it was Ulmo, one of the names of the clubs. I can't remember. 'Cause I know he gave.
And,
Sorry, go ahead, Nico.
right. And what he would have said is that as the player manager for that 6th division team, he would have played against Dynamo Kiev, right? And he would have lost, right? He would have lost the game. And when he lost the game, he said he felt like the opposition had 3 additional players, and that was because of their pressing game, right? That is where he developed his coaching identity, or his philosophy in terms of pressing, because he said he was so overwhelmed, his team was so overwhelmed that he adopted that style of football. So the only thing for me is, do we really have the team to be able to press now? Do we have the squad to be able to press? I think on that Oli, the first few games on that Oli, we were pressing, and we were pressing as a team. We was winning the ball high up the field. Now we was calling ourselves more or less a counter-attacking team, because we were winning the ball high up the field and creating chances. And over time, that would have eroded. So to me, I want to see if the players that we have now, right? In case in point, Pogba. We have Pogba in the team. Can Pogba play that pressing game? Um, Ronaldo, we know Ronaldo is a very integral part of our team. Luke Shaw, right? We know who has been struggling for a while. Wan-Bissaka, because at that high press and that high intensity, you also had to be good on the ball, to play the ball forward quickly. So, I think that is some of the things that I want to see unfold with these players going forward, because we might end up having a lot of square pegs and round holes, when he tries to impress his style of football.
One of the other things, sorry, Rooney, before you go any further, one of the other things he also seems to incorporate as well too. He has a thing where he has like a 10-second play that he likes to build up. Once you win back possession after you destroy the opposition's initial play, the move is to basically within 10 seconds get the ball to distribute, go up to the attack, and basically lead to a goal within that period of time. So his game is very quick. So it will disperse a lot of energy, but it's something where the team basically works together, where everything runs quickly. So
Yeah.
it's something that'll be interesting to see once it's initiated properly. Hopefully, maybe with the personnel we have, we might be able to do it, but it's highly unlikely at this point.
But I have a question, and I'll pose this to Phil, and then we could go around with your feedback on it, right? But I just want to get some questions, but I'll pose the question. I just want to get some comments, but I'll pose the question first, right? When you look at the teams that Ralf Rangnick, I'll get, right?
You'll get it, yeah, you'll get it.
Yeah, I have 6 months. But when you look at the teams that he has, influenced, whether at a coaching level or a director of football level, and we can look back at the RB Leipzigs of the world. They play some very, very entertaining football, pretty, attack. But they also concede a lot. Right? They concede a lot. So, Phil, how do you see, because, our defenders are not quick. Nico pointed out that, in terms of on-the-ball ability, we suspect, right? So how do you see that first? Because it's something common with how his teams play. Now, I know they said that Jurgen Klopp, he has been the one to express it and refine it the best, right? With how his Liverpool team plays. They're very solid at the back, but we do have Liverpool quality defenders, right? So how do you see, if he were to go full on and try to implement it, how do you see us handling that type of attack, which I think we are capable of? But the other side is, for it to work properly, we need everybody committing to it from back to front. So think about it, and let me just get some comments on it, right? Awaken, thanks for joining. Same question. Do you think at the age of 63 years, he's less motivated and perhaps looking for retirement soon? And I do get an impression.
Yeah.
I do get an impression, right?
At 63
hey,
years,
David.
those guys are highly motivated. Are still very
And that's the
highly
thing.
motivated.
That's the thing with football. With football managers, I find the older you get, the more motivated you get as well too. So
Yeah, for sure. I of course not.
Let's also remember Sir Alex Ferguson went till he was 71.
you still can't keep him out of Old Trafford. So
Well, I rest my case. Thank you, Phil. I rest my case.
I think there's a kind of local ideology, maybe Caribbean, that after 60, which is retirement age for most, that you're retired now, but at that age, people know how to live. People know start to, they see life as so much more, So I think at 63, you would be very much motivated.
yeah, when you get a certain age in the Caribbean, you gotta keep a red woman to keep you motivated, boy.
And this is saying at least the team will be well organized, and that's what we're hoping for. We're hoping for that, right? And we're hoping that he'll be able to, input and put his philosophy on early, right? Hey, Dion, thanks for joining. Good night to you
Yeah, good
too.
night.
Devin just saying the best part, if he developed the similar philosophy as Pep, Klopp, and Tuchel, he should know the system weakness and outcoach them. Yeah.
I guess it will still come on the quality on the ball.
Yeah, and the,
you
the
know,
ability for
to
the
be
players to execute the game
to
plan.
execute the plan. Because yeah, definitely he would know the weakness within the system, but how good that the players are going to execute to
Yeah,
the plan, you know?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's always the one factor.
Hey Christopher, welcome buddy. Thanks for joining. He's saying football has evolved. United needs to evolve and get back to the best. Ragnick is hailed as the godfather of the Gegenpress. He's the man who can drag us into modern times. Yeah, yeah. Let's hope so because that's the expectation, right? Mr. Ev10, thanks for joining on the YouTube platform. Best thing Manchester United do in nearly 10 years. Yes, well, no doubt, no doubt. Um, I mean, if we look at the 10-year period, I will say one of the other good things that we did was buy Martial. Anderson saying here,
Bruh.
and they need dragging bad. Right, Reem. Hey, Richard, thanks for joining. Reams, I called it long time. Yeah, buddy, I know that. Liverpool, not solid Van Dijk.
I mean, if
Alright,
last season
alright.
was any indication, I mean, he has a point.
Hey, Mickey Rampasa, thanks for joining. Saying, bless night, guys. Glory, glory, Man United for real. Michelle James, thanks for joining, buddy.
Yeah,
Say,
good
a
night.
man at age 63 brings a lot of experience. True
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
true that.
definitely.
Guys, don't forget to like and share the video as well, right? You want to get the comments, coming in from fans abroad, right? Go through Phil.
Yeah,
And so wait, before this,
yeah.
anytime Martial do flourish under Ragnick, then Solskjaer wasn't the problem. Martial is the problem.
Yeah, but he was having the same issue under Jose, Nico. He was having the same issue under Jose
well,
too.
let's see. Go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, so to address what Reem had me thinking about, right? So first things first, what I would do is drop Maguire, drop Lindelof, play Varane, play Eric Bailly. That would be my dream starting line. Oh, also drop. I want to drop Luke Shaw and give Alex Tellez a chance, but we'll see, right? But in terms of priority, I drop in for sure Maguire and I drop in Lindelof because in a high press where you need high energetic players, but you also need speedy players as well too, right? And Maguire is none of the above, so I would definitely put Bailly in his place and put Varane in Lindelof's place. What else you asked me again? Cause you went through so many comments, man. I forgot, man.
In terms of our ability with the players that we have to effectively execute his philosophy.
No,
Right?
here's the thing.
Just given consideration that RB Leipzig and teams like that, they concede a lot.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? We've seen in football many scenarios where players had to do uncomfortable things to be better, right? So I can even go back as far as Arsene Wenger when Arsene Wenger signed Thierry Henry as a winger from Juventus, right? And he turned him into one of the best strikers in the world. That's just one instance, right? Even with Sir Alex Ferguson putting Ashley Young at a right wing back. And these are things I can list and go on and on for, right? I can sense there are certain players in the team who naturally don't press when it comes to football. There are players who do naturally press because of their high energy and work rate, right? But if this is to work out, all players must be on board. You can't just have three or four players on board and the other players are like, I don't know, right? One thing I will point out about Ralph is that he doesn't care who you are. He doesn't have favorites. You work hard. You work hard for me. I'll reward you with starting time, right? So at the end of the day, people who have egos, you better pull your socks up. I definitely can see all the players looking to work under Ralph because they want to impress their new manager. But if you want to impress your new manager, you're going to do what the manager asks you to do and more, right?
And not only impress the manager, but the results has been terrible. So as a player, you want to improve your results, and if the philosophy was under wasn't working, then if somebody brings a philosophy, then you want it to work because you want to win games.
Here's the thing, guys. If we can identify how Man United plays within the next, let's say, 5 to 6 games, right? And we're taking L's, I'll be okay with that. because at least we can see that the team is about this certain type of style, certain type of playing, right? And just to go back to Jurgen Klopp had Liverpool doing a specific strategy and style. You can see what they wanted to do, but they were still holding L after L after L. And look where they are now, right? So I'd rather us go on the field and implement and see that the team is looking to implement some sort of strategy. Will it take 3 or 4 games? No, it wouldn't. I'll probably see around maybe Valentine's Day or end of February that we can identify what Man United's style and philosophy is now, right? So looking forward to brighter days ahead, and men like Carrick and Felon and those other side men can learn a thing or two.
All right. Before I move on to the rest of you all on this, I'm going to get some comments, right? Because we have some guys on the inside. Everson Baran, thanks for joining. Good night, fellas. Good night to you. He said, best thing Manchester did in 10 years. By the way, I come over to Facebook to get my points across again. All right. Dion Cameron saying, this is something I'm actually excited about. We have good and great players that just need proper coaching. That's so true. That's so true. You know, she also jumped into defense of a quality player that we have here. She's saying, hey,
Oh my God.
Time will tell. Time will tell.
Time will tell, boy.
Time will tell.
Now, Christopher saying, why are they hating on the player? So, yeah, boy, watch me. But as they say, time go tell, and Marcel go prove himself. I ain't have no fear. Right? And what I like about Rangnick is he's not British, so he ain't coming with no British agenda. Right?
All right.
So he gonna give players.
Yeah, just
Opportunity.
on the fact that they're performing. You watching performance, you watching merit, you watching nationality, nothing.
Exactly. So you could feed the world salt if you're playing rubbish. And that's not directed to no particular player, right?
Yeah, sure. Reem.
And we can say, will Pogba have the stamina to press the entirety of a game, though? You know, I can't remember who it was had said it. Nico, I think it's you. One of the previous podcasts that we had here. Give me your best. If your best is 60 minutes, give me 60 minutes of everything you have, and then come off the field. That's all we're asking for. You know? So
But then don't forget how we're playing right now. We have certain individuals looking to press, and they're turning around and seeing that other players are pressing with them now, right?
Correct.
If we move as a unit, everybody has less ground to cover. So before, players will have to cover like 60 to 70 meters of ground. Now players under Ragnar, in my opinion, will be covering about 20 to 30 meters of ground, right? So I want to be running around the field like a headless chicken, right? So in terms of if Pogba has his stamina, he should. I have to say, he's a black man. He has to.
Wow.
They're just saying
stereotypical
new
much?
captain loading. New captain loading.
I hope so too. I
don't know what. In 6 months, I don't think he coming to upset the uppercut that much. to be
Yeah, I think
honest.
I agree with
You
that.
know?
I agree with that. Josiah, it's been a while, buddy. Thanks for joining. He's saying one thing we lacked under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was a clear philosophy of approach. We lacked any identity. I am hoping that this is a dawn of a new era where we have identity. Only time will tell. I am quietly optimistic. Yeah, we all are. All are. Everson saying, Reem, Tony was definitely one of my favorite players, and I'm stopping right there.
Finish the comment. He said, "You too inconsistent with his moody French attitude," and that is correct. Don't try to sugarcoat it for the man.
I don't buy into that. I don't buy into that French attitude thing. I don't buy into that.
Yeah,
but
but
this is
yeah,
not about
I mean,
Martial here.
bro.
This show is not
Lie to
about
yourself.
Martial. This show is not about Martial. He also said Marcus and Jaden will thrive in. I think so. I really think so.
the when we win the ball high up the field, right, which is his brand of football, win the ball high up the field, right, and attack. So imagine you winning the ball high up the field. There's not much players to beat after that.
Yeah.
So let me say as Sancho.
They're much defense like a catch Marcus Rashford either.
Exactly, and Sancho. So imagine Sancho
Sancho's
get the
quick.
ball high up the field in a one-on-one situation, right? Sancho is going to thrive. And players like Rashford, of course, who, you know, one chuck and he has space to run in, you know.
And once Rashford work on his decision making in that final third, because as we said, he'll get plenty chances. Then watch me, Rashford could be unstoppable. You understand? So I mean, earlier when we see, I think we have the attackers. You know, we have quality when you look at, you know, Rashford, Sancho, even Greenwood, right? You're looking at the likes of Ahmad, who there as well, Bruno, who will thrive in this kind of high press. Cavani. I really do think that we don't really want much attacking wise. My concern is you see the midfielders we have and the defenders. That is my concern.
The tools are there, just the worker.
I wanna add one more thing as well to with regards to the defense, right? If we play correctly and this system of philosophy is implemented well, opposition players will be getting a lot of offsides.
Yeah. That's very, very true.
Yeah.
Simeon, thanks for joining, buddy. Saying later again, fellas, but look like we have a coach, a philosophy, a style of play to buy into. Yeah. He's also saying only thing that worries me is that I saw zonal marking in his repertoire. Well, we always talked about the players need. We will only be able to properly judge the players when a proper coach comes in. So let me see a proper coach coming in.
Zonal marking is a bad, you know. It's like there are pros and cons to both man marking and zonal marking. If zonal marking is implemented well, a lot of players will not come into your area. They'll always look to spread the ball left or right. So
Yeah. Richard saying I'm not optimistic a bit. The man come optimistic. The man coming
To mash up the league, mashing the league.
All right, Richard. Simeon saying the thing which really caught my eyes is that he was reassured that he will have an ongoing role developing this team after his interim time as part of
And that is
him
something
leaving
that-
his last
yeah.
team. So there will be more football minds in the club. Now, earlier,
And that is something you have to take into consideration because people are saying that, you know, he's just coming here for his last paycheck. Would you be coming here for your last paycheck and you want to get that involved into the club affairs?
and I figure, Greg, right, that Ralf Rangnick, because even back in 2019, reports were that, you know, he had interest in coming into the club as the DOF, and it didn't work out because of what he would have been demanding from Woodward and the Glazers. And I figure that Ralph saw the opportunity to stick his toe in the door. All right, so all right, I go manage the team for 6 months, but I want to be a advisor. I want to be a consultant, and I know once I get in there, then I will work my way until I am the director of football in that club. You know,
Yeah, I think that is his agenda.
Yeah.
You know, because again, if we talk about dollars and cents, you know, Manchester United will be right up there. You know, so yeah. The thing for me about that is, how would a new coach coming in under Ragnick, how would they feel now? You know, because he would have
He would
been,
probably,
I guess.
sorry.
Go ahead, Greg. Go ahead.
I would say he would probably be looking at someone that kind of fits the style of play that he would want for them to so that they could continue on what he's trying to develop. So you don't necessarily want to have somebody's going to be the exact opposite of what he's trying to do development wise. Somebody that will incorporate the kind of pressing game that he likes. So someone within that field. I mean,
Yeah, so that is the thing now. So would that person feel pressured? You know, would there be an element of pressure over that coach now? Because now you have, let me say, as we were saying, one of the godfathers of the Gegenpress, right? But you have a coach coming who hopefully should be able to implement that. But if they're not implementing it, would they feel pressured, you know, by not performing to the standard that maybe without pressure, you know, they may have done better?
I gotta say this, but I'm not a big fan of Fred, but I'm kind of looking forward to see how Fred plays under Ragnick, though.
I think Fred will
You
be
call
happy
Fred
system.
and McTominay and Bruno Sidemen, but not no big fan.
They are.
No, but they are who we have.
If
They
they're
are who we have.
Sidemen, then you're the man that the Sidemen replaced. Behave yourself.
But I do agree with Phil here
Yeah.
with what Kevin Williams saying. Ralph will love Fred for his pressing, you know, because
I
he
think
is
so. I
one
think
of the
so.
players that I think
Yeah, well,
based
I mean,
on
at the end of
just
the day,
that quality.
Fred is an energy banter, no. Fred is
Yeah,
an energy
just that
banter.
quality,
It's like
I
that
think-
fella, up and down the field. The
Yeah.
problem with people with Fred's biggest issue is that he's being played out of position. He's not a six.
But Greg, don't you think that's how Carrick deployed him on Tuesday was much better?
Because that suits his
That's it,
natural
yeah.
game.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you look at how Ollie used to play him compared to how Carrick used him against Villarreal, he was higher up the pitch, you know.
So the
He was
presses
in a
deals.
Yeah,
position
yeah.
where
Let's
he
win the
was
ball and
allowed to
give somebody
roam a
who could
bit more.
use the
But
ball.
that's
Right ball.
only one. That's only one game. I want to see how
Yeah,
Fred
but
will
still,
take it.
That's only
yeah,
one
but
game.
still,
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same way Tite uses him for Brazil. It's the same way Tite uses him for
Yeah, that's-
Brazil.
Fred,
His
you
job
just
is
win the ball and give
a
somebody
We can come back.
disruptor.
We can come back. We
Fabinho
can
sits
come
in
back
the
to
back.
this year. We can come back to this year after the Chelsea game and the Arsenal game. I want to see how Fred will
It's
take
too
it.
early. It's too early for that. It's too early, Phil.
Phil,
Let
let
me
me
get
be
it
let me
right
be a
back
little
to his-
optimistic now.
Yeah,
No,
well,
let it go, yes.
apparently he doesn't want to talk about the Liverpool game when a certain man gets sent off for some
Fred,
reckless
I know.
challenge.
Yeah, Fred, because Fred was absolute crap in that Liverpool game. Thanks for reminding me.
I didn't know Fred was French and had blue plats.
Anyway,
No, but earlier Nico had raised a interesting point, and I had it as one of the discussion points here in terms of another coach coming in, because if Ragnick, right, comes in and for the 6 months, let's just say he's able to hit the ground rolling with his philosophy and the guys, own it, and we start to see results and performances, that will be very, very hard to follow, right? And I mean, from what the report is saying, right, and I'll read it here. Manchester United remain focused on hiring Mauricio Pochettino as the next permanent manager, with Ralf Rangnick moving upstairs to work alongside him in a consultancy capacity as the club's first ever sporting director. So we know, based on what's being said, that Ragnick not coming here to manage for no long term. It doesn't seem to be his ambition, right? But if he blows this thing and listen, we playing qualify for Champions League, we probably win the Premiership. I mean, I just go in extreme to make a point, right? How difficult will it feel be for the likes of a Pochettino, as Nico had said, the pressure on a
Yeah.
Pochettino, even a Ten Hag.
definitely.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, Pochettino would love to come back to the Premier League, but he has to remember, it's not, if he comes to United, it's not Tottenham he's dealing with. The expectations will be much higher. So the question is would he be able to handle that pressure? I think if Rangnick would be the director of football, he'd be looking for someone that kind of probably matches the CV for the expectations of what United would look for. Because yes, you've been director of football, the likes of Lokomotiv Moscow and RB Leipzig. Those standards might be a little lower than what you're accustomed to. But if you're getting things in place where you have the players playing to a certain style, you will look for someone who not only is able to match that, but has the competency to really take that
Maintain.
next step.
Yeah.
So they have to be
But-
they have to be very careful with the moves that they make from there.
But the question is, right, because when you look at it, it's not like Ragnick going to move from interim manager, to director of football, where he'll be making those decisions, right? Because remember, from there he moving into an advisory
consultancy
role,
role, yeah.
right? So the board would have already made that decision in terms of who they are appointing as manager. So, it's a mixed bag, because you want
Yeah,
to,
true.
you would hope now that the board will make the right appointment, especially when you consider the direction Ragnick will be taking the team, Let me just get some comments on the inside here. Richard, on his high optimism, he's saying, I feel the whole team will win a joint Ballon d'Or next season.
Not
Men
Bruno.
getting 11 Ballon d'Or trophies. Boy. How?
What? Richard, what you drinking? What you drinking, Richard?
I'll have whatever he's smoking.
Maybe you should make a post up with your drinking.
Akeem Williamson realized Reem ain't say Cristiano. Here, right? I telling you, Ronaldo, Ragnick had to find a way to fit Ronaldo in this thing,
But the thing with
because you
Ronaldo
had to
is-
play Ronaldo. You had to play Ronaldo.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like
ball,
it goes back to what you said. Just remember, Rangnick is not a fella not too big on ego. So he got ego. What you be like? Who are you? I don't care.
But then somebody had to be doing it better in the position. Do we have somebody who could be better in the position? Because if we winning that ball high up the field, you want players with one chance or a half chance and it's goal. who better
Exactly.
do
You
we
see, you
have
see, you
on
see
the
that.
field to take those chances?
You see that Villarreal. You see that Villarreal game just now. You lose the ball to
Exactly.
Ronaldo. You lost the ball and it lands to Ronaldo's feet. It's over. It only
It's
go in
over.
one place, back in the net.
Do we have any other players who could be able
Fair
to do
point.
that? So
Fair
I
Cavani,
point.
think,
Fair point.
Cavani, maybe if he's fit.
Yeah,
yeah, but
Cavani's fit.
he in terms of fitness, he's unreliable. In terms of fitness,
True.
so Ronaldo is going to play, and I think Ralph is going to suit the football based on winning the ball to get the ball to Ronaldo as fast as possible, right? Or to get to Rashford or get to
Maybe it might
Sancho
be an
on the wings
opportunity
as
for him to
fast
probably
as
help.
possible.
It might be an
Yeah,
opportunity for him to
get the
help
ball.
Greenwood get over that threshold as well too. Maybe he might incorporate him in that system and teach him that too. Make him into a more complete nine.
I don't think Ralph come to do that, to be honest, in that 6 months. I think Greenwood will learn a thing or two from him, but I don't think he comes to do that. He comes to get the best out of this present team with Ronaldo as the focal point, and that's how I see it.
Correct.
All right, nice. Everson saying, you know what's so ironic, fellas? Solskjaer's first few games, he installed high press. Yeah, counter.
Exactly, and we talk about
High
that.
press and
And we
counter
talk
attack
about
is
that.
kind of isn't high press and counter attack kind of
Well, it was a high energy. It was a high
This
energy
is more
type of
defensive.
football.
Remember, the counter attack
You
is
know?
basically build up going into to score. So they lend into each other. So it's not the same. It's not the same tactic, but
yeah. To me, I think it's kind of contradictory. High press is
Yeah, but
trying
what
to
we
win
were
back the
doing, we
ball
were
high
trying
up
to
and
win the
counter
ball,
attack.
but we were trying to win the ball high up the field under Oli initially. It's
Yeah,
only
we
were.
in the bigger games we used to play compact and
Yeah.
play on the counter.
You'll find that low block teams more tend to counter attack versus high press, right?
Yes.
Correct, right. So so that's why I was kind of wondering. It was kind of contradictory using the same two.
he meant
But we can say, what's your view on Aaron Wan-Bissaka? He seems shaky when attacking.
Yeah, he's another one who would be under the
He's
microscope.
Bambi.
Because Dalo might suit Ragnick more than Wan-Bissaka.
but defensively, Dalo suspect.
Very suspect.
If you see, if I forget how Danjuma turned him inside out the other day.
Even more recent, Greg, that guy, what's his name, Dennis from Watford, he take advantage of.
Yeah.
Dalo come on for 5 minutes and get off
And get skinned.
Underscore.
Yeah, but
so I
you never
don't have
know.
much confidence in Dalo defensively.
Yeah.
Sorry. Peter Balkaran, thanks for joining, buddy. It's been a while, but thanks nonetheless. Josiah saying, so is Ralph bringing his own coaching staff with him, or is he using the guy who already there? So the report again is saying here, where do
I think he's bringing an assistant. That's from
Yeah.
I know he's
His
bringing
name
an
is-
assistant who's the video Laz something.
Last
He's that kind of video.
Kornka.
Yeah.
I don't know if Gregory knows to pronounce that.
Constance, I think is his name.
No, well, that's how it's pronounce it. It's
I had to check it back to me,
K-O-R-N-E-T.
shall get the proper pronunciation.
Teka or some kind of thing like that.
Constance,
Yeah.
I think it's on there.
Well, however you pronounce it, I can pronounce that Michael Carrick is gone. Good. Or
But
Mike
still,
Felton
you
is
sure that?
gone.
I don't
You
think
sure
I don't
that?
think
I
I don't
don't
think
know.
Carrick gone.
Not
I don't think
entirely.
Carrick gone.
Not entirely.
I think what they're saying is Phelan might be the one
Going,
leaving
yeah.
once he bring in
Good.
his guy. But this guy that he coming with is his right hand man. So Carrick
Yeah.
will move down to probably second and or third
Yeah.
or something like that.
Correct.
Right? Hakeem saying Carrick use him in the right place, which brings us back to a proper CDM. McTominay is not it, and I think he's talking about when we were talking about how Fred was deployed
yeah.
against Villarreal.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Fellas, point to note: Fred at Manchester United is not Brazil Fred. The man is legit. Once Ralph get Fred to perform like he wearing the yellow and game over.
All right, true. I am more excited now. I want to see this Brazilian Fred. I don't want to see Guyanese Fred no more. I want to see Brazilian Fred.
But what about we had to talk about what about the Netherlands Donny though? Could we get in? Could we get
The Netherlands Donny
Donny
hasn't been saying much as of recent. We had to get the Ajax Donny.
Goodness, the Ajax one.
We gotta get Donny first because he ain't getting much playing time.
Hey,
Right now, the man on the
He
bench,
got a game Tuesday, so let's that
Nah, but
game dispelled very quickly.
I want to see Donny in this system. What's better? Donny's our next one, like Marcia. If Donny don't make it in this system, then yeah, what? By August or by the
Rangnick will
summer,
love Donny. Rangnick will love Donny.
And that's something we had to see because we could see McTominay and Fred,
I got sell Lingard.
right? We could be
No,
seeing McTominay and Fred.
Lingard will thrive in this too. As an ulterior, as
Yeah,
an
Lingard,
as well too. He will
Lingard,
thrive.
I think
want to
Lingard-
Let me tell you, I
Yeah.
mean, it's something that was echoed in another place, but I was saying here, it's like the midfield are the biggest winners in this situation because they will have a lot more structure in the way that they set up. It'll be
But
more
we had-
cohesive because it's more
Was
of
it
a flow.
quality? Greg, is
Yeah,
it
the
quality?
quality,
in
the
the
quality,
midfield?
yeah,
Quality.
that
Yeah,
quality.
but this is a
Alvin
man
Kamara.
who who takes new name players and helps them develop and become
But
better.
I don't
But
know.
fundamentally, Greg, those no-name players actually good technically, yeah? Because if you call
Correct.
somebody names,
I know.
they're actually good
Sadio,
players.
Sadio Mane, Keita, Erling Haaland, Firmino.
Yeah, they're actually good players. Let me just get Peter's comment here, right? He's saying, I think for once we
gosh.
see a calculated approach to carrying the club forward, and this is true. The decision to hire Rangnick is a very positive approach. I would like to see if Man United adapt to a new style of football. Might not be a popular strategy. I think it is actually.
It is,
with
yeah.
but for some reason might be what we need to compete for silverware. Yeah, thanks for that. Kevin Williams saying we need a proper CDM if where Carrick played Fred is the best place. I don't trust McTominay behind him. Yeah, I don't think
Correct.
I don't think
McTominay
nobody
is a side
does.
man.
Yeah. Anderson saying it's clear.
That's the one
most
who
of
got
players- he's saying it's clear most of the players who are stagnant are in need of coaching.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Donny, I think is
Definitely.
one definitely.
Yeah. Everson saying Donny needs playing time to get up to speed.
Correct.
in
I
the
have
Prem.
been saying this.
Correct.
But yeah, hey, actually, I really yet to be sold on Donny, you know, because after looking at Donny for 63 minutes against Villarreal, I don't know if he was on the field at all for that 63 minutes.
But he wasn't getting service. Villarreal were pressing
Come on,
our
Nico.
wing back so much, and they were pressing Fred and Scott so much that he couldn't get the ball. Whenever Fred or Scott got the ball,
But how it is when Bruno came on in 5 minutes, Bruno had more touches than Donny in the 63 minutes that Donny played.
because Bruno was
I could-
fresh.
5
Bruno was
minutes.
fresher.
I could
Bruno
tell
was
you.
a bit fresher, and Bruno dropped.
Wow.
Bruno's playing style is Bruno drops deep for the football to get
Not
to
only,
correct.
not only that in a Phil, I could tell you something, right? What I realize in the team, it have a kind of hierarchy, right? If certain players on the field, they will always get the passes. If
Correct.
Ronaldo called for a ball, no, but just hear him out, right, Nico?
Yeah.
If Ronaldo called for the ball, you giving Ronaldo that ball, right? If Donny called for the ball and Fred have the ball, Fred giving McTominay the ball and McTominay giving Lindelof the ball.
Correct.
Right? I have seen that.
Correct.
So the fact that Donny calling for the ball and not getting it is just because he is very, very low on the hierarchy level. I realize.
disagree. I
If
disagree
Donny,
that point.
because look
That point.
at where Donny was, right, against Watford, and look at the kind of game we see from Donny. People were raving about, and I think that performance was one of the reasons why he played against Villarreal
And
midweek.
exactly. So if it is that he played so good against Watford with the ball, right? Then against Villarreal, players should have wanted to pass the ball for him because he was the person against Watford who were making things.
But you hear
happen.
Reem say Fred wasn't on the field versus Watford.
Yeah, I know. Yes, but to me, I want seeing Donny showing for the ball as he should have, as when Bruno came onto the field, how Bruno was available for passes. I want seeing Donny in those positions.
Fred and Bruno
I
speak the
won't
same
see them.
language.
I don't know. I hear what you're saying, Nico, but I really think, and I saw it happen so many times with.
And
how
I think
players
it's
pass.
more of an issue of familiarity. When you're accustomed playing with certain individuals so long, you get into a habit of knowing how they play. Because Donny doesn't get much game, they're probably not accustomed in real game scenarios how he
And
would
trust.
operate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but he had to put himself in position to receive
Yo,
passes.
you only
but
get to that
Villarreal,
level,
he
Nico, when you
was-
have the proper game time behind you.
But Nico,
Nah,
remember,
he was absent.
you had made
Fred,
it.
absent
stop
against
Fred
Villarreal.
and put Donny in his position because Fred is a Guyanese.
Nah,
No, but
after,
Nico,
after that game against Villarreal, boy, Fred had to start.
No, but Nico, remember you made the point. When we were doing the podcast for the Villarreal game that Donny reading from a different manual from the rest of the teams. So when
Correct.
Donny
And
comes in a
that is-
space
Right.
It doesn't mean that he not showing for the ball, you know. It means that he trying to get the ball in more of a dangerous space because of his skill set.
Right.
Fred need to understand that and trust him, because I guarantee you, if Bruno pick up that space, Fred will try to force the ball through to
But
Bruno.
Fred
But
trust
And that comes
Exactly.
down to what I would have said, right?
so it's not a
Under-
matter of Donny not
under
showing for the
Martial,
ball. It's just a
I mean,
it's just a matter of the players around him believing in
Exactly.
him and giving him the ball.
Right.
So I wouldn't
and this is
blame
what I'm
Donny for
saying.
that.
So my point is, the two players I want to see how they are going to improve, if they're going to improve at all, is Martial and Donny. And if they don't improve, then by the summer maybe they need to sit it down, because if it is that he's in dangerous positions, right, and the team is not passing the ball to him, then for me and with the CV that Ralph comes with, then he would let the midfielders or whoever know, hey, pass the ball to him. And if
Precisely.
things,
I agree
and
with
if
that.
things and if things hasn't changed, then it's a bigger problem than
But
we are
remember, at the end of the
seeing
day,
on a weekend.
and this is what we were saying, right? And I could argue that too, because we go back to Wednesday, because that's the closest game we could reference, right? Tuesday, sorry.
same
The
thing.
game we had a game plan, and for the first half, and everybody argued that the first half was boring, but we had to understand it was a game plan, right? Fred and McTominay were integral to the execution of the game plan, and because they didn't do their job, then it broke down and made people like Martial, Sancho, Donny, and Ronaldo look like they were ineffective for the entire first half, right? So if these guys do their job effectively, then the rest of the team will function effectively. So if Fred see a proper pass to Donny van de Beek in a dangerous space, and he cannot make that pass, why don't he have to draw back and bring pressure onto Fred to get a pass when Fred
Yeah,
could
because
make
then-
the pass to break their line? That's what they.
But then it
that-
come back
that's
to
what.
playing
That's
short.
what. No,
But then
but
it
that's
become
what
playing short.
that's what Villarreal has been doing. You know, they playing the trailing pass
Alright.
in
But-
dangerous spaces. You know,
The
we not doing it
basis
because
is-
you want Bruno to come up under your nose and take a ball and swing up a long pass to Rashford.
Correct.
Come on, man.
The basis
And
is
Come
go
on,
out,
man.
and go out of
Let's
play.
see if all of that changes with Ralph in the hot seat. And that is why I say.
Well, I hope so. I hope so, because I want to see where we're starting to make those kind of treading passes in dangerous spaces, rather than having men coming deep to receive the ball, to bounce pass and side pass, and we're not doing nothing. Donny moving in these spaces where we could make things happen and be dangerous, and we keep looking at these players who come in and touching and bouncing, and Villarreal and whoever we playing could reorganize the defense and all kind of thing.
Donny's the kind of guy that will call for the ball when he had two men on him and still try to make something happen. That's a tell you.
Yeah.
And I would
so-
pass it to him with that, to be honest. So low
You
my
forget you
confidence
operating the
is.
Wolves game, or?
Since low my confidence is in terms of Donny, as much as however he will play against Watford, if I see Donny with two men on him, I'm not passing to him.
So here they said Villarreal changed tactics once Rashford came on because of his speed. There was more pressure on midfield, and Dan Bruno as he came on
meant
while
then
Rashford
Bruno.
came on. Then Bruno, yeah. And I think the game had changed by that time, you know, so yeah. Ever since saying first, when is Varane expected back? We need him back, but we don't want to
At
rush
the
him
end of
back.
the month.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
don't
don't
wanna
rush
rush him
him
back
back.
at
But
all.
then he come back fit for when Ragnick have a, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have a proper foothold in the team.
Yeah.
But guys, I mean, we hoping that the final details, you know, could be wrapped up soon, so that we could actually see Ragnick, you know,
I just
involved
wish,
in training.
I just mad we didn't do this sooner. Honestly.
And there's the thing, and there's the thing. But I mean, we're glad that better late than never. That's all we could say with regard to disappointment here.
True.
Disappointment. You know.
Yeah, let's separate the two. This appointment. Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
two,
yeah,
the two
because
things,
it's too late. You know, but I am eager that we can get this thing wrapped up so he could actually start to work with the boys, because the more time he could is the more time he have to, you know, implement what he's about. So guys, I mean, unless there's anything more that you want to say about, Ralf Rangnick and his imminent arrival? Let's get closing thoughts on what are your expectations, for the Champions League, the league, and going forward with Ralf Rangnick.
Okay, who wants to go first?
You.
Greg, yeah, Greg, you could go first.
Well, just for that, Phil, you go first. Shucks. Rush me.
Well, yeah, just for a backstory, right? Greg and Phil, they're always going at it, right? So we don't get in that. We don't get in that. Anyway, fellas, go ahead.
Yeah, for me, what I want to see more in team is more competition. I want to see more competition for places. I think on that early, there were too many players that were comfortable in
Favorites.
their position. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they could have a bad game for 10 games, and you're sure they start in the next game. And that is what I want to see. I want to see that transparency. I want to see, because you can't tell me that Maguire is having all these bad games and still getting opportunities after opportunity without being, hey, you're not playing good enough, have a seat on the bench. As much as Dean Smith for Aston Villa, before he was sacked, right? Before he was sacked, he dropped his captain. That was Mings and the other centre back. He said, "Oh, they're not good enough," and he dropped them for a game, right? So what I want to see is players like Maguire, really earning their grain of salt to be able to play on that field. Luke Shaw, another one who definitely, and we would have heard an interview. I'm sure most of you would have heard an interview where Rangnick would have talked about Luke Shaw, where he would have said he's not good enough for a club of Manchester United standard. I think after that, I think Luke Shaw would have had a decent season, but he would have reverted back.
Purple patch.
Yeah,
Man.
he would have reverted back to the Luke Shaw that Rangnick would have said not good enough. So players like Luke Shaw, to me, if they are not playing well, I want to see the competition. Hey, tell us you playing. Luke Shaw, you sit on the bench. And not sit on the bench because, tell us not playing because, Shaw resting. But no, you're not good enough. I given Tellers are running the team. And let that resonate within the squad that if I'm not playing good enough, I will be dropped. I would not be playing. And that is the mindset of the philosophy together with the tactical philosophy. That is the other philosophy I want to be seen embedded in the team. Players not playing good enough, you're Ronaldo, what? Game after game, you're not pressing like how I want the team to press, right? You're not taking your chances, you're not being cohesive with the team as a unit. Then what? Sit on the bench. I'm going to play if it's Martial, Cavani, Greenwood, whoever else, and that is what I want to see going forward.
Yeah, and Nico, that's is very interesting that you mentioned that and it's something I realized with Bruno. Anytime Bruno get sub, or not sub, but he does start a
Bench,
game,
yeah.
when he come on, he does
He has an
really
impact.
come on with a kind of intent, So I think that's what we need. The team needs to know that
Yeah, we need
nobody
competition in the
plays.
squad.
Yeah, nobody plays guaranteed. You
Yeah.
know. Who next?
All right. Well, since Phil wanna be there like an ugly mannequin, I'm just gonna say this. This is one word that I've always been focused on with this team, and that word is structure.
Viagra.
Something that is desperately needed right now throughout that entire team. If for the sake of you take out a few pieces, Maguire, Shaw, anybody who seems to be failing the system that Rangnick wants to put in place, then so be it. I mean, so Alex used to do it too. He was the kind of fella that's like, okay, he would tell Beckham or Scholes, I was like, hey, you slipping right now. Have a seat. Yeah, consistency and structure in the way that this team is run is something that is drastically needed right now. And I think that's something that, given the kind of work that Ralf Rangnick has done at other teams, once he gets to implement that properly, then you'll see a much more free flowing, a more attacking, a more complete, competent side, I should say.
Yeah, yeah. Phil.
Yeah, looking forward to see how certain players adapt under this new philosophy and system that Ralph is going to implement in the next couple of weeks, right? A lot of players, like Nico said, have been a bit too comfortable. Once I play good or bad, I know my position is guaranteed in the starting 11 come the next fixture. Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw, just to name a few, right? hopefully Ralph will say, you know what, you work hard, you get to play the next game, right? A lot of players will pull up their socks and give 110%, right? I definitely am excited based on what I've seen and heard from Ralph and about Ralph as well too. So let's see how this team will be going forward for this next 6 months that Ralph is in charge, and we can hope for nothing but the best. Nothing will be. It won't be a flick of a switch. Obviously, within the first 2 or 3 games, right? You have to give it some time to cement and moisturize into the team, right? So definitely looking forward to what we have, and then boom.
There was a joke
yeah.
there. There was a joke there, but I'm gonna hold it.
For me, right? Let me just get these comments before I close up, right? Jesus, thanks for joining, buddy. Saying I
Yeah,
want to
man,
see an
Jesus.
improvement in fellas' quality on the ball. First up, the German efficiency, the team cohesion forward and in defense. Yeah. Hey Damien, you're a chef.
Oh,
What's
chef,
up, man?
okay.
Yeah, you know.
Left boy RD.
So there's much reason when you look at what Ralf Rangnick has done. There's much to be excited and optimistic about, but I'm not going to be how to put it. I'm not going to be too expectant
Excited?
that we're going to just turn a corner, right?
Yeah, I don't think
After.
anybody's expecting that, honestly.
Yeah, but what I want to see is some semblance of an identity. So that we actually building towards something. That's what I
Again,
want to see.
it goes back to my word, structure.
Structure, correct. So I really do what, because I mean you all, when I hear me saying this over and over, style of play, patterns, a philosophy, a way of playing, entertainment. We could play good and win. It
And the
don't
occasional
have to be one
Martial
of the-
prop.
Yeah, right.
said that?
So,
Who said that?
so I know, but I really want to see my team. I want to see my team entertain. I hate to look at the team sheet for a game and see the quality that we have, and then go out there and see rubbish football, right? And you come in a press conference to tell me this one was man of the match and that one played good, right? I want to sit down and enjoy my football. And when I voice noting and messaging earlier, we laughing and we enjoying proper football, and we destroying teams. Even when even if we lose, we could lose with we head hell high. This is what I want to see my team do going forward.
Go down fighting, yeah, at least.
Yeah. So I am hopeful that now that this guy is here and with his reputation, what he has done, he bringing something that we could identify with and say yes. Karen Naya Richardson, thanks for joining, buddy. Say night, guys.
good night.
Do all think Marcel will adapt to Ralph's structure and pressing style of play, knowing Marcel don't like that? How
Yes,
you know
Reem.
Marcel don't like that
Do you
style?
think he can adapt?
Eh?
Do you think Martial can adapt to round structure, Reem? Inquiring minds want to know. Inquiring
Of
minds would like to
course,
know.
of course. I think Marcel will do very, very well. All Marcel was lacking was a little confidence in already. Man had a bad season last
Yeah,
season.
but oh gosh, it goes back
And
to the
then
man mood right through. The man,
it's
when the
nothing
man
to do
lost
with
number
mood.
9 jersey,
Nah,
he get on out.
nah.
Well,
Let
come
me see.
on.
Let me see Ralph is the man to pa a hand around a ball
Look at
shoulder.
Manny Gilway number 7, normal, and he still playing the game. Where's Martial?
I ain't feel Ralph is that hog up, man. I ain't feel he
Now
did
I'm
that.
saying.
No,
So then it is. Martial had to do what he had to do.
I think the man have the ability and the quality. Just give the man a chance.
Let me give him some time. Yeah,
give the
and
man a chance.
just as with Donny, I giving them time. And if these fellas, I said, don't flourish on that Ralph, then I don't think they'll flourish at all.
All right, Tyreek. Thanks for joining, buddy. Good night to you too. You all come in just as we're about to wrap
I
it.
joined late, boy.
Yeah, you all join. But don't worry, guys. You all
Better
could
late than never.
watch
Better late
it
than
back.
never.
Yeah, you all could watch it back. We'll be on YouTube. You can watch it back on YouTube, and you can watch it back on Facebook. So we do appreciate it, guys. The comments, the likes, the shares. Even to Greg, Phil, Nick and myself, we do appreciate, all the time that you all, make to come on and discuss Man United with us. All right. So, guys, that brings us to the end. We're looking forward to big things under Ralf Rangnick. And we hope by tomorrow we could get the official confirmation and word from the club. Yeah. So guys, have a good evening. Enjoy the clips of Ralph talking about his philosophy. You know, enjoy it. Enjoy it.
And Luke Shaw being a side man.
Hopefully,
And
Phil
we'll-
can change his ways.
And we'll see you all on Sunday as we go up against Chelsea.
They have a proper left back in
Say
Alvaro Fernandez, eh? Jed.
Hey, watch man, yes boy.
Man, real decent, eh?
No, listen, I feel he could make some appearances this season, eh? I
That
feel
man,
so.
real decent, boy.
Alvaro
The
Fernandez.
left back Alvaro
Yeah,
Fernandez.
boy. Watch man, that man, he good. He good.
Yeah, he
And
did great.
I have an eye for players, and I had the eye for Greenwood when I tell Reams, hey, yeah, you need to see Greenwood. And you see that Alvaro Fernandez.
Greenwood was one of the worst kept secrets, let me be honest.
But you see that Alvaro Fernandez, the real quality on the
I
ball.
want to see more Hannibal, though. I really want to see more Hannibal.
Yeah, Hannibal
Yeah, so-
Lecter.
But Jesse had to go for Hannibal to come through. Watch me, players had to go for them youth men to come
Jesse
through.
gotta go, Bruno gotta go.
Hey, what? Well, then Pogba gotta go too.
No, maybe Jesse and Donny. Hannibal.
Yeah.
Watch me, they quite like Donny at all, boy. You ain't gonna get him on a 5
Nah,
for
boy,
nothing.
Well, you're not gonna give against
And I thought Maguire does get real hit. Jesus.
Here now, it's a real agendas here, we. Anyway. So
I have
guys,
none. I'm stating that right now. I have none.
Boy, stop lying on the All In All United boy. Let's end this podcast.
You
before
think it's
Greg
agenda, man? Here, you
boy
talking.
lies. Listen, this guy always spreading
You basically
propaganda
taking
and
commission
rumors
every time
on
you
me.
agenda
Let's
Pogba,
end the
if you talking about
podcast.
me,
Greg,
go
you
for
are
it.
not telling the truth,
Anyhow,
man.
Read
Oh
any
my
live,
God.
please.
Turn off his
We don't need
microphone,
the
man.
viewers seeing this
Jesus
side of us
Lord.
right
Turn off
now.
your microphone, Greg B.
anyway,
Paul
so
Pogba
guys,
commission, man. You see what's going on there? Beating Paul Pogba drum right through.
so we'll be here again on Sunday for the Chelsea review. And I guess Ralf Rangnick will be in the stands watching the game. I hopeful, and that he'll see, what he needs to see.
Men will step up. Men have to step up.
True
Men will
that. True
step
that.
up.
Yeah, man,
True that.
impressive. What you gonna do?
True that. So have a good night, everybody.
Yeah, good
And
night.
see you all on the next one.